Okay, it is about 8:30 a.m. Breakfast is over. My socks are still kind of damp. When the sun hits them, they'll dry out better. Speaking of that, putting these on was not fun, but they're not as wet as they were last night. So as we hike and get through the day, it'll improve. And I have another pair of dry socks. Yeah, everything's cleaned up. Breakfast is cleaned up. Now this charging bank is solar. Not just solar, but it can recharge in the sun. However, I've had zero luck getting it to do that. I realize it's in the shade right now, but the sun's right there, and pretty soon this is all going to be in the sun. So I'm going to leave it here. And the thing is, the little green light that comes on that shows it's charging, I left this in my windowsill with direct sunlight an entire day, and it didn't charge up a notch at all. So I'm not too pleased with that. It's by RavPower, which is a reputable company, and it's a 25,000 milliamp charger. The problem is it doesn't do what it says it will. So I'm gonna try to give it a chance today. As you can see, we're at 3 of 4 lights, and if I let it sit out all day long and charge, it should go up a notch, right? If it does what it's advertised to do. I have plenty of power there. I actually have a backup power bank that I've been using for years, another RavPower that's only 14,000, but it's good for charging things here and there. It's good for a couple of charges. This is good for several charges. Anyway, I'm gonna leave that here as kind of a test. I've got the trail camera sitting on this rock here. I'm about to turn it on. In fact, let's just do that now. Okay. It's got 80% battery, so when that green light comes on, we're good to go. This isn't so much for wildlife when I go hiking as it is for, whoops, people. I've had people cut through my camp before. It's not too noticeable there. The trail is, like I said, about 100 yards that way. I think I'll be okay. It would be cool to get some wildlife. I don't know what I got last night. If I got anything, you saw it already. If you didn't see any nighttime footage, then I really didn't get anything. I was so passed out, I didn't even hear noises like I usually do. And if you're wondering, my mascot, our good friend Bob Jr. has come on this trip. I did not forget. I just forgot to take him out last night. I was so tired. So he's going on our hike with us, and here's our backpack full of my roll pack, lunch, and water. So it looks really full, but that's because that's stuff I need. You're probably wondering about the verdict on the caffeinated Clif Bar. We'll eat that as we hike, and we'll talk about it. It's time to get on the trail. I'm excited. Very excited. I want to see what's up the trail. I have energy. I have water and food. I have a lighter pack. I'm ready for this, guys. I'm ready. I'm good to go. Can't think of anything else. Let's get on the trail. And in case you're wondering, there's the food. Already got it hung up, garbage, everything. Meticulously strung up. This time, it only took me once. Last night it took me several tries. I was tired and cranky, and it was a chore. There's our trail. Maybe it's not 100 yards, maybe more like 50, but it's good enough. I don't know, it could be 100. We're going that way. We came from that way, and down there is where the river crossing is, not too far. Just miraculous that I just walked up on this. incredible campsite. I've had some amazing campsites. My favorite one by far was last year's Hope Lake backpacking trip. I'll link it down in the description. That lake was beautiful, and I had the whole thing to myself. And I found this pristine little campsite with up against a cliff with, it was just amazing. To walk up on that unexpectedly was just the ultimate reward of the entire hike. And the hike itself was very enjoyable. It wasn't extremely strenuous. I didn't get stressed or upset or fatigued or anything. I really genuinely enjoyed the hike up to Hope Lake. By the way, is up here in the Uintas. So, finding that one far enough off the trail that I don't feel like people are walking through my campsite, and having all of the things that I needed for my hammock, spot for my tent, lots of shade, a creek nearby. I couldn't ask for better. Sometimes the universe just provides. Anyway, okay, so we're gonna be doing some uphill, I know that. The girl I talked to yesterday who told me about the river crossing, when she said that, I didn't realize I would be going in the river. But she said there's some more uphill and then it levels out again. I got about 2 miles to get to the lake that's up here. There's 2 lakes up here. One's up even further, and I'm not up here to explore the whole area. I'm not, you know, an 1800s explorer. I'm just trying to take in the views and get some good footage, but hopefully this time will be a much better experience than yesterday was. Here's what the peanut toffee buzz bar looks like. I'm just gonna eat it in little pieces as I hike. It's okay. I don't mind this one. Still has that sort of aftertaste that all the Cliff Bars have. Familiar aftertaste. But it tastes pretty good. It's one of the better ones. Like the peanut butter one. This happens a lot in the winter. Deadfall falling across the trail. This is the first I've come across that truly blocked the trail. There's trail maintenance that comes in here and cuts this up. You can see saw marks on some of the logs as we walk by. They haven't gotten to this one yet. We'll go around. Holy cow, someone put this here. Look how old this beer can is. That's vintage. I haven't seen a top like that since I was a little kid. I'm not even kidding. I'd say that's late 70s, early 80s. Wow. I'm gonna leave it there for someone else to admire, and if it's still there on the way back, I'll pack it out because it is trash. Up we go. I just ran into that guy that had his dog yesterday that was worried about the impending storm that never happened. A lot of thunder, a little bit of sprinkles on the tent. Pretty much made a lot of noise but didn't do anything. He was worried about his dog because the dog was getting freaked out by the thunder. He's not from here, from what I can tell. So he was worried about, he wanted to know if I thought it was really gonna come down. And I told him I didn't. It's not forecast to rain at all. The Uintas have their own kind of weather system where you can get a thunderstorm like that and it will rain. Whew. This altitude. I'm walking on flat ground, but I'm short-winded. I live at 4,000 feet. This is 9,000 feet. Anyway, asked him how he survived the night. He said pretty good. He really enjoyed it. He was glad it just blew over. Seemed like a really nice guy. So, just up here by himself with his backpack, his guitar, and his dog. And his dog licked my camera. His dog's a fan of Utah Steve. Anyway, said he had a pretty good night, so that's good to know. This is a beautiful hike. It's lots of forest, couple of meadows, little creeks running through. It's pretty amazing. And here's another one, another river crossing. Only this one at least comes with kind of a bridge. Yay! Smooth deadfall. That one's not as easy to go around. It stretches clear over there, but it looks like the end of it is over here, so that's what we'll do. Certainly not climbing through that. We'll go this way. You can see where it broke off. Just rotted out at the bottom. It's probably been dead a long time. It's a big tree. Sad to see him go. All right, let's get through this jungle back on the trail. Little bushwhacking just to get around that tree. No different than the construction that's going on back home. Detours everywhere. Hey, we did it. We're on the other side. It's a lot like life. Things are going one way and you expect them to keep going that way. And then suddenly there's a detour. You have to go a different direction. And if you're just patient and take the detour, you'll get on the other side of it. And be no worse for the wear. More of the trail turned into a creek. Up there on a tree I can see a blue blaze, so I know this is the actual trail. In the summer this won't look anything like this. Something to be aware of. That's a moose track. Here's another one. It's not a very big one. And the water's disturbed, which means it wasn't that long ago. So, just got to be aware of my surroundings. They're beautiful and majestic, but they can be really mean. I worry more about them than bears. As I've mentioned before, I've had too many run-ins with mooses. Most of them were angry. Still following it. So it looks like it's smaller. I don't see big ones next to it. But it's moving up the trail, which is a lot easier than cutting through all this. Usually when they're that small you see like larger moose prints next to it, but I don't see them. Just smaller. Maybe a juvenile. I don't know. That is a deer, a lot smaller and closer together. Very small. Time to hydrate. I don't want to make that mistake again. I'm going to make sure that I have to pee a lot. And so far, since I left camp, which has been maybe an hour, I've been moving slow, filming, that kind of thing. It always takes me longer than just hiking without a camera. I haven't had to pee, which after yesterday is a red flag. So if I could have shown this to you when it came out of the river, it was crystal clear. So that's the iodine, and it's ironic that I'd rather drink brown water than clear water. One thing I did notice when I ate my grits is it did have an iodine tinge to it. So even when you boil this after it's been treated, you can still taste the iodine. But they make other water clarification drops. One kills everything and the other one clarifies. So I think I might invest in those next time. But I kind of like carrying tablets instead of a filter. I've gone through so many filters over the years. Not that they've gone bad or didn't work, just trying different ones and never completely being happy with it. A lot of work involved when you're tired and you're filling up water and you have to squeeze everything out or whatever. Pump, whatever kind you have. It's a lot easier to just fill a bottle and drop a couple of tablets in and wait half an hour. Ah, that's good. That's a good drink of water. Alright. I also brought sunscreen. I am blonde with blue eyes and thinning hair, almost absent on top. That looks nice, doesn't it? I meant to get a haircut before I came on this, but I didn't have time to do that either, so I usually just buzz it with the number 2 comb. But I'm going to put some of this on my face. This is UV resistant. My face is not. So I don't want to go home looking like a lobster. And you know, sometimes I've had the top of my head burnt so bad, overheated, I can feel my heartbeat in the top of it. As you can see, I'm already a little red, but that should help. It smells like coconut. Good. Does it say that? It doesn't say that anywhere. So now I smell like a tasty treat for a bear. Thanks guys for putting that on your container. That's definitely a coconut scent. They have cocoa in it, cocoa seed butter, fragrance, that's all it says, fragrance. That fragrance would be tropical deliciousness that bears crave. Group of 3 backpackers hiking back. They said they've been hiking for about 30 to 40 minutes from the lake. So that's how far we have to go in time. And note to self, smell the sunscreen before you buy it. I like the smell. It's amazing, but it's strong, and that really bothers me. I don't wear cologne, I don't wear deodorant. I do on a daily basis. I don't wear it up here because I don't want to give off any scent that smells tasty and delectable to some wild animal. And now I'm coated in it. That irritates me. It says nothing on the front about the scent, and I didn't even think to open the lid and smell it before I bought it. Anyway, another 30 to 40 minutes and we'll be at the lake. I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Well, here's the first patch of snow I have seen. It's very small. Here's my hand. That is the first snow I've seen the entire time I've been up here, so there's still some left, but not much. And usually I've been up here in June, not this specific area, but the Uintas, about the same time of year. I remember it was June 7th. Today's June 6th. So this was back in the 90s. I came up here with my late wife, and the snow was above her head. We parked and took pictures. I don't know if I have them on my hard drive. I'll put them up if I do, but that's how much of a drought this is. That snow wouldn't cover my foot. Well, I've been hiking now for 40 minutes since I talked to those people back there. Of course, I stopped to hydrate another time, and I also have been filming and taking pictures, and so I'm moving slower. So basically, I'm probably about 10 minutes behind what they said based on my little stops. And what I've noticed is when I was going uphill, I was really close to the river. And when I reached the top and started going downhill again into the woods, as you can hear, it's very quiet. Don't hear the river. I can hear it, but it's way over there. So, I don't know. I'm hoping their guess on how long they've been hiking is correct. There's a huge meadow out there. I'm a little bit nervous that that's the first lake, that I hiked all this way for a meadow, because I'm not going to the second lake. That's another several miles. So I'm not interested in hiking another 5 miles up into the God knows where to this lake. I'm hoping we're close. If it starts really getting steep again, I'm calling it, and I'm heading back. So I don't know, we'll hike a little further and see what we come up with.
There's a sign that goes up to like upper setting, and then it flattens out when you're going to the East Shingle Lake. Okay.
Yeah, so we take a right.
Well, once we get there, it's like less than a quarter mile. Nice. Appreciate it.
Those people that just walked by, backpacking group that passed me last night back at camp, they said it's about another mile to the lake. And this uphill, he said there's a lot of uphill here, and then it levels out and there's a sign going 2 different directions. So if this is all the uphill, it's not gonna just keep going forever, I'll suck it up and I'll go up here. You can't tell on the camera, but that's a pretty good upgrade. So here we go. Okay, I just came up that. I really pushed, got up here into the shade, taking a breather. It looks like it might level out here, I hope. One thing I noticed, those people that said they've been hiking for 30 or 40 minutes, they were hiking all downhill. It goes a lot faster, and you don't have to stop nearly as much because you don't get winded or whatever. And the other people that I just talked to a few minutes ago, they spoke in terms of distance, which is really what I needed. I kind of needed both, how far and how long. But the ones going downhill, it's not the same. Hiking in, it takes longer going uphill. And look up here on the mountain. That's pretty high up. And that's all the snow there is for June. This is why we're in a drought situation. Those little white patches all over. That's all there is. Sure is beautiful though. Let's keep going. Hopefully we're close. Back on flat ground again. Woo! That uphill wasn't too bad. Starting to really open up. A lot of meadows out there and over here, and another patch of snow. Looks like some dog played in it, probably chomped some down. There's for perspective. So just a patch. This is a pretty cool rock. Be a nice place to sit and hang out if it wasn't so slanty. It's big. Anyway, I think we're close, guys. I'm excited. The thing is about the Uintas with these meadows, you start getting, higher and higher into the wilderness, and you run into these big, beautiful meadows that almost seem like they're fake or something out of a movie. They're incredible. It's so green and beautiful. Unfortunately, if we don't get some more rain this year, all of that green is going to be brown. So enjoy it here in this video, because who knows what it'll look like later. And these wildflowers, they've been pretty amazing too. White ones, yellow ones, purple ones, purple and white ones. They're incredible. This is a good time of year to come out, spring. Not too much further, we're gonna run into a lake. They did say, those people back there said that there is quite a bit of deadfall on the trail coming up. There's a creek over there I'd like to look at, but I really want to get to the lake. It's so amazing.